Hi guys, glory to Jesus Christ. How the heck are ya? I wanted to try something a little bit different today. We are in the Orthodox Church on the eve of celebrating the Synaxis of All Saints, and I was going through the Troparion during choir rehearsal on Thursday. And the Troparion is very short, I'm just going to read it to you. As with fine porphyry and royal purple, thy church has been adorned with thy martyr's blood shed throughout all the world. She cries to thee, O Christ God, send down thy bounties upon thy people, grant peace to thine habitation and great mercy to our souls. Now, I want to talk about porphyry. What the heck is porphyry, right? How many times do we read these beautiful hymns and there's a word or two that we hear it sometimes and it's kind of familiar because of that, but I mean, really, could you tell me what porphyry is? It has different meanings, by the way. So this video is going to talk about what the heck is porphyry. So I hope you enjoy, and I will see you guys on the flip side. Porphyry, also called Tyrian purple, was a natural purple dye made from a predatory sea snail called the spiny dye murex. This pigment was so staggeringly expensive because it was difficult and time-consuming to produce, so much so that purple garments became a coveted status symbol often reserved for royalty by law. Porphyry manufacturing was so expensive that the ancient Byzantine royal court subsidized production and limited its use to imperial silks. This pigment was so closely associated with the concept of royalty that children of Byzantine emperors were described as porphyrogenitos, which means born in the purple. The spiny dye murex and several similar species produce a pigmented mucus, which they use as a defense mechanism, releasing a cloud of it, just as octopi confuse predators by squirting ink in their faces. Poking a dye-producing snail causes them to release this mucus, which can then be collected. This sustainable technique does not harm the snail, but it is extremely slow. Since dyeing the trim of one garment requires ink from about 12,000 snails, ancient dye makers used a faster method, crushing the snails whole. The dead snails were then thrown into vats until they decomposed, at which point the dye was skimmed out and applied to the fabric. The stench from the decomposing snails was incredibly offensive, so much so that the hands of dye makers developed the permanent odor of rotten fish, and ancient Jewish women were legally allowed to divorce their husbands if they took up dye making after the wedding. Despite the difficult and malodorous production process and the fact that the rotten smell often contaminated the dyed garments, porphyry remained in high demand for centuries. The dye's popularity was due to its incomparably rich, bright purple hue, and the fact that the color did not fade when exposed to sunlight, but actually became more vibrant. Fortunately for our collective noses and marriages, porphyry is no longer a thing, as the secrets of its production were lost during the sacking of Constantinople during the Fourth Crusade.